Bonjour and bonsoir, dear friends. Welcome to our fabulous wine style. This is Joe Papendick. You've met him many times. He runs the fabulous gardens of all our properties and vineyard composting and biodynamic preparation. And he's part of this amazing wine that we're tasting today. So, Joe, as we have a toast, we got a taste.
Yes.
So tell us, it's your description, it's your baby.
This is the 1.5 acre. It's a very unique blend growing right here behind us next to the garden. And I'd say the garden even contributes a little bit to its uniqueness. It's an expression of organic and biodynamic, of vintage, of place. And I would say before I get into too much of the technicality of it, the flavors are sublime. You get this wonderful bright fruit. I feel a little bit of earthiness, of a little bit of spice, a little bit of roundness. It's delightful. It really comes alive on your palate.
And dear friends, we only make a few cases of this wine. This is something insane you gotta have. We pushed it, as you can see, the label is leather. So we print on leather because we'll talk about it shortly. The fabulous cow and what we do with the cow's stomach in terms of the preparation and how involved we are into connecting the four-legged animals to Mother Nature, to the insect, to the composting, to the insectary, to the preparation, all the biodynamic vision we have. But first, let's talk about sustainability as we're going to walk around the garden a bit. Joe, give us, as we're celebrating today, obviously, and this week and this whole month, Down to Earth Month and Earth Day soon, tell us about what you feel as far as our commitment to sustainability and how big we are into it.
Well, we're extremely committed to sustainability. From the beginning, when purchased and began the transition at Raymond Vineyards in 2009, we began moving towards farming organically, farming biodynamically. And we know with farming organically, you're able to obviously take care of the earth, build healthy soils. Those healthy soils sequester carbon. They can remove greenhouse gases that are being emitted by polluters. And finding that balance, a very successful way and effective way to really help to work to heal the planet. And so that's one step. And we haven't stopped there. We keep moving on every year in ways to improve our commitment to sustainability. We are certified through Napa Green, which is a wonderful aspect for the winery and for the property. Every year making strides to create more energy efficiency, more water conservation. A big item that we have is our solar panels on all of our properties. But here we are able to generate 85% of our power, more than that in the summertime, and also striving for more energy efficiency by converting all of our light bulbs to LED, our
Water management
also. Water conservation is a huge one. In the vineyard we use deficit irrigation and monitoring systems so that we know exactly how much the plant needs for its growth, and then we give it a little bit less in order to be able to create that balance for what will create wonderful phenolics and wonderful flavors in our grape, but also know how to conserve water. Compost, you mentioned already, adding compost to your soil is like a sponge that is able to absorb 30% more water, so you can use 30% less by having that water retained in your soil, in the organic matter that's there. And that's also through recycling. You're recycling your waste to put it back into the soil, your organic waste, and build that healthy soil that then also sequestering carbon. It's an amazing, amazing loop.
You know, I repeat all the time, as above, so below. It's connecting the two worlds. And when you think about the tree and the roots, I was yesterday doing a great drawing, which was an inspiration of Mother Nature and the great trees of the world, an artistic, drawings of trees. How you relate the root system of the tree to our root system is exactly the same. So I was drawing a tree above instead of a face with one eye, and the roots coming down in our chest and our system, which is exactly the same. So nature is inspiring us, and we are the mirror of Mother Nature. This is what is so exciting. And maybe, Joe, tell us a little bit about what has been this vision where we are. I mean, look at how spectacular. And I know Dylan make sure you give our friends an amazing view as we hear, because the theater of nature is really what enchant people. I just met some guests who toured it. They were coming actually from Armenia, and they were with some Russian friends, and they loved it. They spent an hour walking, and they said how great it is to feel so connected to Mother Nature.
The big part for me with the theater of nature is education. Helping to explain through a way that if you have guests that are coming out here, or even for ourselves to learn more about these fine-tuned aspects of what's happening in nature and our practices that are here that are committing to, our practices that commit our relationship to sustainability.
That's right.
But it also serves its own function. This acre is living habitat. We're able to provide biodiversity for all the very important beneficial insects, our bugs that will be able to...
Not to interrupt you, did you hear? They're all talking to you.
They're all talking, they're alive.
I know the mic is very good, dear friends. I'm sure you hear them. Look at them. Keep going, I'm sorry.
Yes, they're echoing, and it's a wonderful... When I started 10 years ago here, this was an empty field. A lot of vineyards, it's grapes only. And here we're able to combine the power of habitat, of biodiversity, of the plant matter, of the insects, of the birds. And it's been proven that that's our best line of defense, to have a healthy vineyard.
That's right.
And have a healthy environment for ourselves. Through having healthy soil, putting your hand in the soil, there are very important beneficial microbes that interact with your skin to keep you healthy. And this relationship that we have is something that we need to fortify, and we need to be committed to, and also need to build upon year after year.
And we are amplifying it, as you said. Fortify is one aspect, amplifying is another. As we're really bringing people within our world, discovering our signage system, discovering all the things we do, and really being totally inspired by it. So maybe what I suggest, let's walk a little bit in the theater, look at where the 1.5 acre comes from, and then maybe we say hello to our lovely cow.
Okay.
So we walked a few feet away from where we were sitting looking at Frenchy Winery, and Joe and I have been so committed over the last 10 years to this unbelievable animal. That is extraordinary. And as you all know, in certain culture, like India, it's the mother and it's the foundation. And that's why you don't eat cow in those countries. And we love the cow for many reasons, and this is why we've used leather for the 1.5 acres. So Joe, maybe you want to explain the key role of the cow and how we use her stomach for the preps.
Certainly. In biodynamics, we always, of course, are looking at everything that's interconnected in the wholeness. And the cow is not only as a practice of that, but as a great example of it. She is able to, from chewing and eating grass that's growing in areas that maybe wouldn't be able to be farmed, take that energy that's in the grass, and with a 4-chambered ruminant stomach, 4-chamber stomach, digest it the most efficient way and convert that from grass, the energy that we have from the sun photosynthesis that's in that matter, into manure, which is very rich for plants and an important source of fertilizer, but give it her energy that she's been able to, as a symbol and as a mother of fertility, caring for her young when she is lactating, bringing in the energy that she symbolizes, but also practices into that manure. That manure then is energized, having so much force, a life force of fertility that then can go into the soil and have that enriching power for the plants again, and continuing that cycle of life. But here on the label, just like that, we're talking about this whole cycle of life and wholeness. In all aspects of the work that we do, we want to incorporate animal, plant, air, fire, so light, sun, all those elements in earth. And so here on this bottle, of course, we have a leather label to have an animal element come into the wine, come into the aspect to have that wholeness there, not to forget about our relationship with animals and our care for animals. It's the wonderful leather label.
So that's the leather. And you may always wonder those beautiful antennae. You see, I would look better if I had antenna or little horns. Maybe I do without knowing it. And those horns really bring the energy from above. So the cow has been symbolically as well, in addition to the 4 digestive system, the 4 legs on the ground, to really connect the cosmic energy to the telluric energy. And I think that's very important. Bring the energy down from whatever happens in the galaxies, and bring it down from all the fabulous stars, from the moon to the sun, to all the great and phenomenal energy that happens above. And that's the key. The cow really does that. And this is why we really wanted to, you know, respect her all the way to the label. So the label is very cool, 1.5 acre, made with a leather canvas. Pretty cool.
Very cool.
So Joe, we've had this wine for a little while in our hand. Any other comments? Because I could feel a lot of flavors opening.
Definitely a lot of flavors.
Well, like the one behind us.
The cherry, definitely, yes. The bright fruit.
And some good plum already.
Yes, very juicy plum, very nice, fresh.
This is an amazing wine, dear friends. You don't hear a lot about it because we only make 50 cases of it. Typically only available at the winery, but very successful for the people who love organic grapes, because obviously made with organic grapes, and it's a blend of Cabernet, Malbec, Cabernet Franc Merlot, and of course the magical Petit Verdot that is really making not only the sound, but the sound of the Angelus of Bordeaux, the bells of Bordeaux through our glass. So maybe now we'll walk to this vineyard to show you how committed Joe is with the composting, and to look briefly at where this vineyard is and how aligned it is to Mount St. Helena, another magical alignment. It's all about alignment. So this is the magical spot. Dear friends, when you come to Raymond, Joe created this amazing sphere. It's a circle. You know, we always attracted as human beings and magnetized by the circle. We want to go in the circle. This is an absolute human reaction. This is how we trigger it here. And this is fabulous because the circle is fully aligned with Mount St. Helena. So we are in direct view, as you see behind us, this amazing, beautiful, historical, non-active volcano. It's been here for over 18 million years and has helped to shape this amazing valley. So we happen to be in the cleavage of it. And Joe, this is where it's made, right here.
That's correct. This is where it's grown. A very special project, as I said in the beginning, an expression of vintage. You mentioned the 5 varietals, and those 5 varietals are planted out here all together. And each vintage, of course, each weather, Mother Nature will choose how they perform. So every year the blend will change slightly depending upon what happens with, right now, as they're having bud break come out. Does the Cabernet race forward with good weather, or does the Malbec, or does the Merlot? Who becomes the stronger force and flavor through each year and through each season? So a wonderful moment to be able to really give a tribute to what happens with each vintage. What is our weather? What is our space? And of course, our work and our hard work that all the vineyard crew does to be able to come out here and till the grass, cultivate, add compost, and enrich the plants to keep them healthy and flourishing for years and years to come.
And as you discover, dear friends, nature, you could see who comes first. And as you could see on that side, there's a little flower starting, and Merlot is often your number one. And she comes out, and there's a little bourgeon, as we say in good French. But besides the grapes, we're having a magical flower. And this is probably one of my favorite as a Frenchman. When you come to California specifically, this is really the color of California. So Joe, tell us a little bit about it.
Our California poppy. It's obviously a wonderfully bright orange. It attracts our eye. Right now we're in April, and this is its moment to flourish and spread. These have volunteered for us. A lot of plants in the garden I do cherish a volunteer. If it deserves to be here and it's in the right spot, we don't weed it.
It's a good way to say you volunteer. Or they volunteer.
Yeah, and definitely the California poppy has its place all throughout California. We're not seeing right now many beneficial insects, but they do in the morning and in the evening, or it's a little too hot right now. You'll see them working it, coming from plant to plant. There's a number of great pollinators that will of course help set fruit in the orchard, and these poppies are here to provide nectar and food and a habitat for them.
So dear friends, there's a big news happening at Raymond. 1, we're very excited of spring. 2, the push, as we call it in the vineyard, is looking stunning because we were very tight on our pruning this year. We knew the drought was going to do what it's doing, and we anticipate a great 2021. But Joe, if you come, is very active because explain everyone what you're doing back there between the guest house and the beautiful tasting room and the red room. We're creating an amazing space.
Amazing space, definitely. Well, I guess we'll start talking about sustainability with our commitment to conservation, to conserving water. So we had an area that was full of ivy, full of junipers that were having kind of an excessive use of water. And so now about 30% of our space between the grove, the guest house behind the red room, will be now having drought tolerant and water efficient plants and water efficient technology. But there'll be an amazing grove of palm trees, of plants that will definitely attribute to the mid-century style of the guest house that's there, of the pool, but also an excitement of the Victorian era when the palm tree was brought in to California and graced the streets of San Francisco. Dolores Street in San Francisco has all of its classic palm trees going down.
Yeah.
Really a true area for the Bay Area during these times of the Victorian era, and then again in the 20s, and then again in the 60s. Has a very interesting history of palm trees and for celebration of iconic areas.
So when you come to see us in Napa, if you don't take the Golden Gate, you take the Bay Bridge, you'll see an amazing lineup of canary palm trees. They look amazing, and that's the symbol of California as well. So we decided to do this and to create the destination outdoor. So stay tuned. You know, we're going to benefit not only from Mother Nature, minimizing the usage of water, enhancing the beautiful greenery we have, bringing palm trees and creating an amazing style. You're going to love the allure. You're going to love the style, dear friends. Are we going to see you at Raymond soon?